Hello, I'm Hadassah, and welcome to another edition of For Your Glory, where we glorify God, the Most High God. So, if you've been following for the last 2 weeks, you would know that we are currently in the book of Luke. I've decided to do a series based on just a few of the scriptures in the book of Luke that have resonated with me. And one of those scriptures is actually found in Luke chapter 4. So this is that time when Jesus was in the wilderness and he was tempted of the devil. He was in the wilderness for 40 days. And at this point, of course, he was in human form and he would have been hungry, beyond hungry, right? And so Luke chapter 4, verse 3 says, "And the devil said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, command this stone that it may be made bread. And in verse 4, Jesus answered him, saying, It is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of God." One of the things that recently came to me was the word of God was literally sustaining Jesus while he was in the wilderness. The word of God literally became his, as Job says, necessary food. He regarded it more than his necessary food. The word of God kept him going in the wilderness. That was definitely supernatural, right? But what I love is that during the temptations, all 3 times Jesus said, "It is written, it is written, it is written." All 3 times when he responded to Satan, which means that even Jesus himself uses the word because the word has power. And that is an example for us too. We must use the word. And how you could use the word if you're not in the word and studying the word and getting to know the word? You cannot use the word that you don't know. And Jesus himself was the perfect example. He used the word against Satan. He used the word against the kingdom of darkness because the word is life. The word is the sword. The word is what will get you through. And it does say that Satan left him, for a season. He left him for a season. But that's what we need. We need the word. But what I really, really would like to really point out to you here is the fact that he said that man should not live by bread alone, but by every word of God. Are you living? Am I living? Are we living by the word of God? If you've listened to this channel before, you would have heard me speak every time about the importance of the word of God and getting in the word of God, eating the word of God, drinking the word of God. And that is are we living by that? Are we living by that? Despite what we see, despite what we hear, despite the darts, are we living by the word of God? Are you standing on the word of God? Who has the final say? Whose report will we believe? The word. Jesus himself referred to the word when Satan approached him, when Satan confronted him. Jesus himself, the word, and Jesus was and is the word. Isn't that amazing? So he was quoting the word. He used the word. You have to remember the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They're not carnal. They're beyond what we could see and touch. This is a very spiritual world. And we have to use the word of God, the word which is above his very name, the word that he regards above his very name, the sword of the word of God, which is the sword, our sword, which is the word of God. That's a part of our armor. That is a part of our armor. How do we fight the devil? The shield of faith, the word of God. You need that word. You need that sword. You need that sword. And so I just think it's very important that we live by the word of God. And living by the word of God is obeying the word of God, you know. So quoting is one thing, and having that to use and come up in your spirit when you need it is one thing. But you need to operate in faith. You need to operate in faith as you're using the word of God. Be obedient to the word of God. Because you could just be quoting, you could just be spewing out words and scriptures. But if you're not doing it in faith, and if you're not obeying those words, then it's futile. So anyway, we need to stand on the word of God. What does the word say? It reminds me of another one of, and I'm often talking about this. What does the word say? What does the word say? Despite that situation, what does the word say? Are we going to live based on that word? Are we going to stand on that word? What does the word say? And so I'm just loving my time in Luke. And, you know, certain passages, certain scriptures are just resonating with me. And so I'm hoping you're enjoying this as well. But more so, I hope that it's giving you fire, the fire that you need under you, flames to get up and move and do what you have to do according to the word of God. And so thank you so much for joining me. I'm grateful that you stopped by. Once again, I'm Hadassah, and remember, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Have a good one.